Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. The Congress has ousted the BJP in three key states of Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. And one of the persons who has to be credited for that victory is Jyotiraditya Scindia. Mr. Scindia, thanks very much for speaking to CNBC TV 18. This was a hard-fought mandate, but also a very, very close one. The margin was just about 5 seats. Do you think it could have gone either way?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It was a hard-fought battle, but I have to say that the people of all three states, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, as I had mentioned in many earlier shows, had pretty much made up their minds. A government that was anti-farmer, anti-women's security, anti-youth and employment, with no vision, full of jumlas but no articulation or execution on the ground, was bound to be ousted. And that is the resounding result across the full Hindi heartland in India. And I think, if at all, this should be warning bells for the BJP of this being the semi-final to the final that's coming up in April and May of the general elections.
But Mr. Scindia, why was the margin so narrow?
Well,
114 and 109.
In elections you have a victor and a vanquished. The Congress has been able to win the trust of the people. Having said that, I have congratulated not only all the Congress legislators that have won, the 2 from the BSP, the 1 from the Samajwadi, the 4 independents, and also the 109 from the BJP that have won. At the end of the day, you fight a hard-fought battle. That is the supremacy of democracy. But post the battle, you must all work together to ensure development of your state. And that very clearly is my spirit in Madhya Pradesh.
We also saw that counting went on for an unusually long time, almost 28 to 30 hours.
There's a reason for that. And the reason is that this is the practice that I introduced and instituted in the 3 by-elections that had happened in Madhya Pradesh prior to this assembly election. Generally what happens is that there is counting of EVMs which is completed by about 2 o'clock. And then many candidates are made to lose on the table because in the recounting the machines are changed around. So what we put in place in the by-election in Ater in February of 2018 and then in the 2 by-elections in Kolaras and Mungauli is that after every round is completed, the returning officer must give a certificate to both contestants or all contestants of the completion of the round, so that at the end of the counting after 20 rounds there is no possibility of recounting, and there is no way that you can fudge the numbers.
But it was so neck to neck and it went on for such a long time. Was that a difficult night for you and Mr. Kamal Nath? Were you here in Delhi? Were you
well, any election has to be an election that you can never take for granted. I always take every election with the greatest amount of seriousness. You must never underestimate your opponent, not your enemy. It is your opponent. And I think you must always have a certain degree of respect also for your opponent. And that's always been the way I have looked at life over the last 16 years that I've been in public life.
Mr. Scindia, do you feel that one of the reasons for this narrow victory, was it because of some fault in ticket distribution? There are many in the Congress. Even the day when there were celebrations going on the 11th, there were people who were saying that ticket distribution should have been better. And that's why we're looking at this narrow victory.
I don't think that's the case as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. I think we went through a very, very rigorous process in our ticket distribution. There was not only the view of leaders such as myself or Mr. Kamal Nath or others. There was also a professional survey that was done. Congress party officials who had been on the ground for the last 7 months gave their very truthful and honest view, and there was a coming together of all of this in the ticket process. So yes, you may have not got things done as per your wish all the way through, but it was a very rigorous process, and I think that we did a very scientific and a rigorous ticket selection process which actually resulted in a victory for the Congress party.
After the victory,
and a case for point for you is that in my area, which is Gwalior Chambal, where we have 34 seats, the Congress has won 26. So we have completely routed the BJP, almost 83% hit rate in my area.
But what is also being said is that the BJP is not completely out. 109 seats is also a big number. The other thing that we want to ask you...
It absolutely is.
It's a big number.
And we must acknowledge that.
Yeah. What we want to also ask you is that after the victory, it took a long time to decide the chief ministers. You were there with Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Kamal Nath.
Not really.
Why did it take so long?
I think that, again, your information is slightly skewed. As far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned, my Congress president and I had a conversation. I have always said that as far as my father is concerned and I am concerned, it's never been a hunger for a post or a chair. It's really been the hunger to serve. And that is the most important thesis for us. And so and I've always said that my Congress president's decision is a decision I will abide by. When we had a conversation and he told me what is it that he would prefer.
Because we always hear that you were one of the contenders and you were strongly considered.
I probably was, but I chose to step aside because I do believe that the party comes first, and I do believe that your ambition and your aspiration should always be secondary to the party. We always, as netas, mouth this, but I think the true test comes when you are faced with that test.
But were you disappointed?
I wouldn't want to say that I was disappointed. I have the decision that the Congress president has taken. I am at peace with, and I'm happy with, and I will still serve my state in whatever capacity the Congress president decides.
Were you offered Deputy CM?
I wouldn't want to divulge all facets of my conversation with the Congress president. But I do believe that there is an inner calling, and I took my decision based on the inner calling, and that very evening I proceeded to Bhopal and I proposed Mr. Kamal Nath's name.
But do you feel that this was a moment, because your moment had come after a long time and so did Sachin Pilot's? Do you think that this was a time when that generational shift should have been completed?
Well, there's no point us discussing about ifs and buts and what if and hypothetical cases. It is what it is. And I think that in the circumstances, I think it's important for you to be able to internalize what is important for you personally. And for me, that my party emerges stronger, that my party's government is formed in Madhya Pradesh, was always my priority. So then, you got to walk your talk. And I think I walked my talk.
So you've made peace with that decision? Disappointed, but made peace with it?
I won't use that word disappointed. I said I made peace with that decision.
What do you think drove Rahul Gandhi into choosing these three chief ministers?
I don't have a habit for to speak for someone else.
Just giving us an overall picture. Was it experience? Was it 2019?
It's a question you must ask Rahul Gandhi.
Because we feel that there were a certain number of leaders, many of the veteran leaders in the Congress, who were backing them, backing the likes of Mr. Gehlot, backing Mr. Kamal Nath.
I have no knowledge of that. I am a person who plays with a straight bat in life. And what I have said to you in many interviews over the last many years, this was my test. And it was important for me to be able to walk my talk, and I think I did.
Yeah, but Mr. Scindia, also, do you feel that it's now time, whatever decision may have been taken in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, but now the Congress and Rahul Gandhi must think of making that generational shift completely at some point? To hand over to the younger leaders.
I don't think that they haven't done that.
There is a problem somewhere?
I was 37 years old when I first became a minister. In 2008, when I was Telecom and Department of Post Minister. I then was made Commerce and Industry Minister, then I was made Minister of Power, Independent Charge. I am the Chief Whip in the Lok Sabha. There are many of my contemporaries today who are General Secretaries in the Congress Party, who are young and empowered. So I don't think you must see it through only a microscopic lens of one or two coveted positions. That change is bound to happen. It's evolving, it's happening.
It takes time. It's a challenge for Rahul Gandhi as
It's
well?
happening. I think it's happened over the last 10 years. Many of us today are at the forefront.
But is there a different approach, for example, between you and Mr. Kamal Nath in working, and Mr. Gehlot and Sachin Pilot? Do those differences
Well,
create
I
problems?
think every individual has their strengths and their weaknesses, and it's important for us, whether it is Rajasthan or whether it is Madhya Pradesh or whether it is Chhattisgarh. It's important for us to balance each other's strengths with each other's weaknesses. At the end of the day, please remember, it's only that when your party is strong that you will be strong. And if you are under the misconception that you can be strong without the party being strong, then I think you're headed for disaster.
Okay.
So I think you have to have the right spirit in your heart. And I think too many of us politicians are governed by our head and ambition. I think many of us need to also make an example and lead the way.
On that note, we take a short break here, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll talk about the roadmap for the Congress party in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. Many of these states are heavily under debt. How will the Congress party concentrate on farmers, concentrate on the economy and concentrate on creating more jobs?